I just want to ask, did the two of you sign in?
Oh. I got mask on, though.
That's
Did that
good.
count?
Okay, well,
There'll be a
there's,
test at the end.
while you're signing in, as required by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. Anybody? Okay. I'd like to call to order the Harwich Board of Health meeting for September 21st, 2021. First order of business is the minutes from August 17th, 2021. Any comments or corrections to that one?
A motion to pass the minutes? A motion to pass the minutes?
Yeah, go ahead. And second?
I second that motion.
All agreed?
All agreed.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, the second set of minutes is for September 10th, 2021. Any comments or corrections? Any motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 10th?
I second that motion unless somebody who was present at that meeting
all right,
has
you-
any,
Oh,
I
you
don't feel
weren't
like.
present. You shouldn't.
Right, that's kind
Okay.
of what I thought.
All right, you second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The two of you were there.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the Board of Health work session, and we're going to be discussing the animal regulations. And what you have in front of you right now is from Chatham, and I think there's some here from Dennis as well. I don't-
Rooster, Dennis, it's, yeah.
And I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at it, but if not, for this meeting, at least if you have any comments, because I am going to be working on this, if you have any comments, can you send them to me? And then, as I start to work on this for the next meeting, I can try to work whatever into it. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we would move to take this under consideration?
Yes. I'll second that.
You don't have to vote.
We don't have to vote on that. Okay, all right, that works. Okay, the second thing
So
on
you
the-
want us to email you if we have comment? Okay.
Yep, yep. Okay, the COVID update.
Okay, so currently we are tracking 21 active cases. We unfortunately do have one new death. The Harwich incident rate currently is 15.3 per 100,000. All of Massachusetts is at 23.1 per 100,000, and Barnstable County is 22.8 per 100,000. So we are still certainly doing better than many towns, but we are starting to see somewhat of an increase from the cases that we were monitoring from the summer months.
Do we know what percentage of these are Delta?
They're estimating about 20% right now. They're not testing, they're not doing the sequencing for every single person. It's just
So
not
is the
feasible.
20% out of the total number, or just 20% of what's being tested? Of the ones that are being tested, what percentages are Delta?
I don't know the exact number for the ones that they're testing, but they're estimating it's approximately 20%.
Okay, all right, okay.
The person that passed away, how old?
They were in their 60s.
Are they also keeping track, and I didn't get through all of this, of which ones were vaccinated or unvaccinated?
So in our current caseload, out of the 21 active, 4 are currently vaccinated.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
No.
Okay, we're going to move on to the sewer extension criteria, and as you notice, we don't really have anything started on that. So, again, I guess that's going to be, any ideas? I guess give to Katie? Should we give?
Sure, I can try to draft something if you'd like. It's not something that we need to start working on right away. This will be at the 2-year period when individuals have not connected and then they want to apply. But if anyone has any timeframes they want me to start drafting, or if you want me to look at what Chatham has done or any of the other towns, Falmouth, Barnstable, I can contact them and see if they have anything in place. for
That
their-
sometimes is helpful, just to see what the
Sure.
other towns are doing.
Yep,
Doesn't mean we have to follow suit, but it
Right.
gives you some ideas of what other towns are doing.
sure. So for either, if I hear back from them in time.
Either October, November.
Okay, yep.
I know we
That's-
kind of batted around last time,
Yeah.
having the 10 years
Well,
from
that's
a new-
the other one. That's the one we're gonna meet on Friday.
So that's part of the order, and that's for IA properties.
Okay.
So this extension would be for traditional Title V systems, if the board wanted to make that a 10-year as well.
So put your thinking caps on for that. All right, I don't think we have any old or unfinished business,
Nope.
so we'll move on to, I bring this in front of me, new business. I'd like to, a show cause hearing for Leonard, 4752 North Road Realty Trust, and it's for 47 North Road. Show cause hearing to discuss noncompliance with Harwich Board of Health real estate transfer regulation. I guess I'm opening the hearing on this.
I don't see anyone here for this case. If you'd like me to review, the board has seen this property before them twice already. You have already twice approved a tight tank. Permits have not been pulled. It expired. The property is still on a cesspool. We've been told by the building department that they've applied for a rental density application, meaning they want to start renting it out. It's on a single cesspool. It is extremely close to the river,
Real close.
very close. Title V with the seasonal properties require a restriction anyway. You already approved the tight tank with the 6-month seasonal restriction. At this point, fall, I would recommend having a water shut-off order. I also included some other options that the board can either choose to see the tight tank again because it has expired, or if you choose to let us handle it at the staff level, as long as nothing's changed, we're happy to handle it at the staff level. But I wouldn't recommend allowing the water to turn back on until something's been done. And that would still have the 6-month seasonal restriction.
When would you turn the water off?
I recommend October 1st, but that's up to the board.
I think that's appropriate.
They've made no headway at all.
No,
They've
Except to
had-
say that headway's being made. Yeah, I
Right,
read it through.
and I did contact the engineer that they said they're working with. The engineer confirmed that they had contacted them, but nothing had been done at that point. We didn't receive anything from the engineer in writing saying that there is a process, so no one's here to tell us otherwise. I wouldn't be comfortable with just leaving the property as it is. It's such an environmental hazard at this point that I think it's time to take some action there. We do also have the right to go the non-criminal route if they don't apply for a permit to get the work done, and that's in the packet as well for your review.
So she has one, as option one, is where it starts, move to order that the water department shut off the water service to 47 North Road Street, October 1st. It starts with both of them, but it's the very first one that starts like that. That's her motion, her recommendation one, and then the other one is recommendation two.
And that would be if the board wanted to see
That
it
would be the
again.
board doing it, as opposed to the staff.
Probably staff. More-
staff do it.
Much more quicker.
Yeah, more efficient. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the first recommendation that the health director's made to shut off the water service.
I guess I should have closed the hearing.
We can close it, yeah, that's fine, you can
There was
close it.
nobody here, so
And
close
with
the
this
hearing.
one, you might, I know it's kind of a dense paragraph, but I would read it just into the record, just to have the official motion.
Do you want me to read it in? Or
If
who's
you
ever- I
want,
guess-
if you want to read it and have Matt say so moved, that
Do
works.
you want to read it since you're making the motion? Go
Okay,
ahead.
so the bulk of the paragraph,
It would be these two.
It would just be the first one.
Oh, just the first
Okay.
one to
Yep.
read. All
So
right.
I make Motion to move to order that the water department shut off the water service at 47 North Road on October 1st, 2021, and not be turned back on until April 1st, 2022, provided that the tight tank has been installed and the certificate of compliance has been issued. If the tight tank has not been installed and the certificate of compliance has not been issued, then the water service is not to be turned back on. It is also ordered that the health director utilize the non-criminal disposition violation and start fining the property owner according to the fine schedule starting on October 1st, 2021, if a disposal system construction permit and in-house variance application have not been submitted. Additionally, if the tight tank is not installed within 45 days of the disposal system construction permit issuance, then the property owner is to be fined according to the non-criminal disposition violation fine schedule.
Have a second?
I second the motion to accept the recommendations from the health director.
Agree? Do we all?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you. I'll get that going.
All right, the next one on the agenda is 7 Prince Charles Drive. To reconsider order of conditions granted on January 16th, 2007. There is to be no increase in square footage, habitable space, or number of bedrooms beyond 4 as shown on the 12/15/06 plan. Applicant is requesting to expand over the existing 2-car garage. The expanded areas include a family room which will be open to the existing kitchen and dining room area on the first floor and a loft area on the second floor. The loft area will be accessed by an open stairwell with a family room area as well as an 8 by 11-foot opening with railing into the cathedral area over the dining room and kitchen below. The project proposes to install a phosphorus treatment component to the existing septic system. Open hearing?
Good evening. For the record, I'm John O'Reilly, project engineer, working with Ron Posh and his family. We have, I don't know if any of you have been out to the site at all, but currently there is a garage on the western end of the home that has a flat roof. And what the Poshes are looking to do is to construct some habitable space over that garage that would consist, and the floor plans show it, that would consist of a family room on one level and a loft on the second level. And I've marked up the floor plans to show that the family room on the first floor will have a large 8 to 11-foot cased opening into the kitchen, and then an open stairwell up to the loft. And the loft, which will be on the second story, will have a new bathroom, and it is also going to have an 8 to 11-foot cased opening that will overlook the dining room and kitchen. The dining room and kitchen have a cathedral ceiling, so when I met with the director, she was concerned about the privacy the new loft may have, and what we're proposing is to provide a cased opening, as I said, 8 to 11 feet wide on the second floor. So that should resolve the privacy issue, but I'm sure I'll hear about it if not. We have gone through conservation and have received an order of conditions to construct to construct the addition, as well as permission to provide some repairs or enhancement to the existing sewage system. As the notice said, the sewage system was permitted and approved back in 2007. It currently consists of a 1,500-gallon septic tank, a pump chamber, and a pressure dose leaching field. What we're looking to do to hopefully satisfy the board's requirement of no expansion of habitable space is we are looking to replace the existing septic tank with a new 1,500-gallon tank and have a fast treatment unit installed, and then from the new fast unit flow into what a unit called Phosphofair. It's a gravity upflow filter that is designed to treat phosphorus. When I initially met with the director, we were only proposing the phosphorus treatment, and not any secondary treatment. And in discussions with the manufacturer, they strongly recommend the enhanced treatment prior to the phosphorus treatment so as to not to bind the media. The unique thing about the phosphorus is that it's a gravity system. It works on gravity. Flow comes into the unit, travels down to the bottom of the trough, and then up flows through a media. It's a proprietary media. I can't find out what's exactly in it. My guess is that it's a mixture of coarse gravel going to finer gravel, and then probably some aluminum in there as well for some binding agent with the phosphorus. That's my educated guess.
That's pretty good.
So I did give you folks some backup information.
Yeah.
I did give you, it is a pilot program, and we are the last time I talked to the manufacturer, this will be the first one in the state of Massachusetts. It was given pilot approval in January of this year. And I gave you the pilot approval so you could understand what testing parameters and requirements both the owner is going to be under as they go through this pilot program. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is I did ask the manufacturer for some additional testing, and they did give me a 120-page report from 2016. It was tested up in Quebec, and found that for a flow of about 500 gallons a day, which this is equivalent as a 4-bedroom home, so we're looking at a flow of 440. The phosphor flow filter went from an influent concentration of 6.15 milligrams per liter of phosphorus to an effluent limit of 0.09 milligrams per liter. So it works, in that test, it worked tremendously well. The permit from the DEP has a limit of 0.3 part per million.
And what was the one, what was the,
It was 0.09.
0.09? Okay,
So their limit on DEP is 0.3. So the testing parameters are in the pilot approval documents. It's monthly for the first 6 months and then quarterly thereafter.
for how long?
Much like, it's going to be treated like an IA technology, an innovative alternative technology where there's an O&M contract
Okay,
to operate and maintain. So because it's a pilot, it doesn't go into quarterly. Like if you do a fast unit now under a general permit or remedial permit, you might be testing quarterly.
okay,
In the pilot program, they ask us to test once a month for the first 6 months after installation, and then quarterly from there. It would remain quarterly until the permit is upgraded to remedial or general use permit if it was to ever get to that point, or when it gets to that point. But it would be constantly tested every quarter until this board decided to change that.
all right.
in the future.
All right, because I was gonna say, I don't know if we have anything in place for,
We don't have phosphorus in place at
yeah,
this point.
for
We do have
monitoring anything
testing
like that, so we might
requirements
have
for
to
IA.
do something. Yeah.
So, right now, the way it's written, it's just as IA, so the
Yeah.
testing requirements would still fall under
Fall-
that provision that
alright.
you have, but it doesn't specifically call out phosphorus, which wouldn't matter, it just straight says IA.
Yeah, all right. Is there and you said this information goes back to the state?
Yes.
Could that information also be provided to the town?
Oh,
since we-
I think it's going to go to the state, to your board, as well as to the county.
Okay, because that's
I
gonna be
envision
very
that,
helpful information.
like all IA technologies, that, the county manages those for all the health departments.
Okay,
So I'm sure they'll be clued in as well.
all right.
So we'll be going to three entities.
The information that you have from I assume that what you have is from the company with
Yes.
previous, is there a chance we can get a copy of that as well?
Yes, I can send that to you. It's a 120-page doc. I didn't feel like printing it out. 5 triplicates.
If you want to forward it to me, I can email it to everyone.
Yeah.
But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I think the phosphorus is new. There are other technologies out there that do remove phosphorus. What intrigued me about this is that it's a completely gravity-feed system. So even in a loss of power, you're still getting phosphorus treatment as the effluent comes through.
You said that's the first in the state.
First one in the state.
Do you know if there's any that are pending environmentally?
The last
As
time
the
I talked
various
to the
like this?
manufacturer, this was the first one he knew of.
All right, if no further questions with the,
What's the health
Yeah.
director say?
Sure. So I think it's a fair trade-off. It is a large room, a big expanse in habitable space, but I think certainly with both the nitrogen and phosphorus treatment, I would be in full support of approving it with the conditions I provided.
because they are very close to, what pond is that? They're so close.
Long Pond.
Long Pond, yeah, yeah. So I think it's really appropriate.
And I think it would be nice to see some of the data to see if phosphorus is an actual option, but because the habitable space increase is so large, I think it's a fair trade-off to have both treatments for the space.
And you are still getting some denitrification out of the FAS, the BOD, TSS are all gonna be treated as well, so.
And so this would be contingent upon both your board approval as well as the state approval. So if the state doesn't approve the phosphorus for whatever reason, you could still approve the increase with the fast treatment as well.
Okay,
So just because you guys approve it doesn't mean it's a given.
yeah, all right. All right, I'll close the hearing, and does the board have any other comments?
Just if we approve it and the state doesn't, that'll come back to us so we can just say like we approve it pending.
So it would still have the other treatment option. So one of my recommended conditions would be that it has some form of alternative treatment, and they're providing both. So if one doesn't get approved from the state, they still have a backup. So I don't think it would need to come back unless you would want it to.
All right, I think that Katie, her recommendation, I'll read what it is. It says approve the reconsideration of a previous condition placed on January 16th, 2007, located at 7 Prince Charles Drive with the following conditions. 1, no further increase in square footage or habitable space without review by the Board of Health. 2, the property shall be deed restricted to a maximum of 4 bedrooms. 3, variances and conditions are to be recorded by the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. 4, the alternative septic system or treatment is required, and an alternative septic system or treatment is required. The alternative septic system must be under an operation and maintenance contract for the life of the system. The alternative septic system must be tested and maintained in accordance with the health department's requirement for testing. The DEP approval is required for the phosphorus 4-fade treatment. All DEP conditions and testing requirements apply, and previous conditions also apply.
Make a motion to approve?
Any second?
I second that motion.
Okay, vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you, and I'll forward that information off to you,
Great,
Katie.
thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you. All right, now we're on to the next hearing is 5 Fiddler's Landing to consider a variance request to upgrade the existing Title V septic system to a Title V septic system which will include innovative alternative technology. The request also includes a reconsideration of an order of conditions granted on August 12, 2014, which included a condition of, in quotes, "there is to be no increase in habitable space, flow design, number of bedrooms," which is 4, and square footage to the dwelling. Floor plan is to be outlined on the plan dated 5/18/2014. The applicant is proposing to raise the existing dwelling and replace it with a new dwelling. The proposed house has a different footprint than the existing house, but will have 4 bedrooms, as does the existing house. Variances from 310 CMR 15.211 minimum setbacks. One is for 310 CMR 15.211 to allow the proposed soil absorption system to be 5.5 feet from the property line, where 10 is required, so the variance request is 4.5. Per 310 CMR 15.211 to allow the proposed soil absorption system to be 5 feet from the property line, where 10 feet is required, so the variance request is 5. And the variance from the Board of Health, Harwich Board of Health Regulation 1.210. Per Harwich Board of Health Regulation 1.210, to allow the proposed soil absorption system to be 75 feet from the coastal bank, where 100 is required. Variance request is 25. And I open the hearing.
Okay. Well, my name is John Schneibel. I'm pinch hitting for Taria. She's got another place to be, so I'm here. And actually, I did the property next door, the Walshes, so very familiar with the area, familiar with the plan. Again, what's happening is they're gonna remove the home, replace it with a new one, and the new home is gonna have 2,673 square feet, and the old home, according to the architectural numbers, is 2,511. So this is actually gonna be a 162 square foot increase. No change in bedrooms, it's gonna be a 4-bedroom home. And it's been already approved by Conservation Commission. So what we're, proposing is to take out the system that's in there presently, which is basically a septic tank and some plastic chambers. And we're gonna replace it with a fast unit, 0.5, that's suitable for 4 bedrooms. And it's actually under general use. Under the general use approval, it's supposed to meet 19 milligrams per liter. Now, that's state approval for that. And then it's gonna go into a pump chamber, and then it's gonna go into this leaching system that we have here, that goes to from the north to the south along that property line, Fiddler's Landing. Again, we are asking for those variances that you mentioned. The previous plan showed 80 feet for the leaching system to the top of the bank. However, we looked at that number, and it's really, what it should have been was 73 feet. In other words, that number was, I'm not sure what happened on that. On the previous plan, he said 80, we looked at that, 73. But we've done it, actually kind of pushed it that other 2 feet, and we've met the minimum, of 75. So, other than that, I mean, it's already, like I said, been approved by Conservation. We're looking to ask for not only these variances, which is essentially the same as the previous one. However, we are also asking for increase in habitable space, so 162 square feet. So that's our request, and if you have any questions, be glad to answer them.
So this one also has an AI system, am I
Has
correct?
an microfast. Yep.
So can you explain, can you explain that a little better, what that is?
What it is? Okay. All right. It's you know how I describe it a lot of times. I say basically it's like a bubbler. Okay. So it has a blower, and that actually takes the air from the blower down below what this plastic looks like milk crate. They're white, and what happens is that air goes down there and bubbles up through that, and that's where that it's kind of like a waffle type of plastic stuff that that essentially allows for bacteria to grow on there, aerobic bacteria, so that'll, basically eat the bugs, so it provides that whole thing. So so that provides all that, and then what happens is, up on near the top, there's actually a trough that sends a portion of the aerated water, sends it back to the anoxic zone, which is essentially kind of like a septic tank. So basically what happens, it's let's just go back up a little bit. It's a 2-compartment tank. And so this trough that's over where all that aerobic action is going, will actually take some of that aerobic water and take it back into the anoxic zone. And then that's where you get your denitrification. All right,
Okay.
and these systems work pretty well. The only times they have problems is if people don't, or they'll do a lot of bleach, or they'll use ammonia products, stuff like that, that actually will kill the bacteria. So that's the big problem that they have. And to tell you the truth, all IA systems have that issue of, if they don't, if people don't watch what they throw down there, could really upset the system. So anyway, they preach, the O&M guys that do these, and we actually do a lot of these. We have an operation and maintenance program at our office, a team that does this stuff. We do from 40,000 gallons a day for a treatment plant down to these little 330, 440 gallon units. So again, we're very familiar with them. We know how they run.
So are the, and this could be for either one of you two, so are the owners going to be required, either by the Board of Health and/or the company that's installing this? Is this going to be tested so that we know whether or not
Yep.
it's going to be efficient if people are going to be using bleach?
So that's in one of my one of the conditions in my recommendation, that it be tested and maintained in accordance with the Board of Health requirements, which we do have regulations that have specific testing requirements, and when they send us the operation and maintenance contract, we make sure that it meets all of those standpoints.
All right, so,
The county runs a database, so all the results get reported to the county, and the county lets us know if it's not at the appropriate level.
all right.
Right.
And then are the people that are putting this in place, are they educated on how to use or not use this system when,
Talking about the owners, or are you talking?
the owners, yes?
Yeah, well, they know what's going on. That'll be something that they'll have to be educated on. Wastewater Services, this company, they're the ones that actually will install this system.
Okay.
And they will actually have a contract with them for 2 years. Okay, they have to sign up, so when they install it, these people will have to sign the contract
Okay,
for 2 years. So it's, they really won't install it unless they have the signed contract.
all right.
So it's,
But the system requires a contract for the life of the
anyway,
system.
yeah.
All right.
And a number of the other systems, you can hire somebody, a company like ours or some other company, to actually run it. But the fast unit, they actually have to run it for the first 2 years.
Okay. All right. I'll close the hearing. Does the board have any other questions, comments? All right, Katie's recommendation is option 2, to approve the reconsideration of a previous condition placed on August 12th, 2014, located at 5 Fiddler's Landing with the following conditions: no further increase in square footage or habitable space without review by the Board of Health. The property shall be deed restricted to a maximum of 4 bedrooms. Variances and conditions are to be recorded at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. An alternative septic system or treatment is required. The alternative septic system must be under an operation and maintenance contract for the life of the system. The alternative septic system must be tested and maintained in accordance with the Health Department's requirements for testing, and previous conditions apply.
Motion to approve the health director's recommendation.
I second that motion.
Okay, vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Could you say aye?
Aye, okay. I didn't know if you were thinking.
You're still
or-
contemplating.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to do these?
Yes, I'll take those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She gave you a better description of how that works. It's hard just to kind of visualize, me telling you what it is. You know, really, you kind of, you need some kind of like a cross-section, kind of how it runs through and everything.
I'll have to look it up online.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
okay.
All right, the next hearing is for 19 Wacquasit Road to request a reconsideration of order of conditions granted on January 4th, 2000, then again on September 10th, 2002, which included a condition of, quotes, "There's to be no increase in square footage, habitable space, or number of bedrooms beyond those shown on the plan dated 11/23/1999. Applicant is requesting to create an enclosed four-season room on a previously approved covered patio area." I open the meeting, open the hearing.
Thank you. Ben Stevens, I'm actually the homeowner. But I do a lot of septic installs in my other life, so, including fast systems, et cetera. We have a existing house. It's a three-bedroom system. It was put in about 2000, probably right around the time of those restrictions or the order of conditions was put on. And we bought the property in 2015. It's a three-bedroom with a dosing system in the front yard. And a couple of years ago, we elected to cover a back patio with a covered porch. And then with COVID and my wife and I getting a little up there, we would like to take this covered porch into a three-season, four-season room, if you will. So we investigated the best course of action, and being seasonal use right now and low use, and the fact that we're working within an existing 1,000-gallon septic tank, the Piranha system appeared to be the best choice for a nitrogen removal, an A&I system. So we proposed the Piranha insert to be installed. We'll work with a Robert Hour is very familiar with our system, so we'll probably work with them too on the install. But that's our proposal, and we'd like to modify some of those conditions so we can have the three-season enclosed room in the back of the house.
Any questions from the board?
Ultimately, improvement in the system, and we're just turning the one room into a three-season, right?
It would be a four-season, but you're right.
Yeah.
They would be improving the system.
And I'll close the hearing if the board has any further comments or. I'll go ahead and I'll read Katie's recommendation. Approve the reconsideration of a previous condition placed on January 4th, 2000, and then again on September 10th, 2002, located at 19 Wacquasit Road with the following conditions. No further increase in square footage or habitable space without review by the Board of Health. The property shall be deed restricted to a maximum of 3 bedrooms. Variances and conditions are to be recorded at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. An alternative septic system or treatment is required. The alternative septic system must be under an operation or maintenance contract for the life of the system. The alternative septic system must be tested and maintained in accordance with the Health Department's requirements for testing, and previous conditions apply.
I motion to accept the recommendations of the,
Health Director.
Katie, the board director.
I'll second that.
Okay, vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you have your green cards?
Yeah, we only got one back.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay, correspondence. Massachusetts Department of Public Health West Nile virus update.
So
By
I just
Katie.
wanted to keep you guys in the loop that we, Massachusetts, not Harwich, does have human cases of West Nile right now. There's been a lot of rain happening, and as a result of that, a lot of mosquitoes. So both of the correspondences in here actually have to do with mosquitoes. Cape Cod Mosquito Control has come up with a really nice little poster that we've put up on our website. And it's just a reminder to everyone at home to dump out any buckets of standing water, try to minimize any habitat for the mosquitoes, try to avoid going out at dusk and dawn, wear protective clothing, a DEP-approved bug spray, try to minimize any West Nile or Triple E contact.
Okay.
And that's that.
And that covered the mosquito control resources as well, right?
It did, yep,
Yes.
it covered both.
All right. The next is the permits. Do I have a motion to accept, or if there's any questions?
To accept the permits as listed.
What's the utility installer? What is?
So that is, instead of a septic installer, it would be a sewer installer. They're called a utility installer.
Where is Peter Covani Land Services? Where is that?
Gavoni, it's on Cape, I don't have the town off the top of my head, I'm sorry. I wanna say Sandwich, but don't hold me to that, I can check. We had a motion, was there a second?
I second the motion
Kevin,
to
okay.
accept.
All right. Vote in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and number 8 was other. I don't know if we have any other. Nope.
Unless anyone has anything they wanna announce.
Any motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
Somebody has to make the motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
All right,
Vote?
what time is it, 10:15?
Aye?
Aye.
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 All right.
Perfect, all right, thank you.